Good morning everyone, and welcome to another day here at Universal Studios Florida. I know it's been a long time on the vlog, but I'm back here today and we're here to do an update on some Halloween Horror Nights news. Today is the 18th of August, so Horror Nights is in about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So super excited, and we're gonna walk around the park, get some Scarezone updates with all the props they have out, talk about where the house locations are gonna be, and just do some basic updates like that around the park for Halloween Horror Nights. And I will be filming at Halloween Horror Nights this year. I'm gonna bring the GoPro, and we're gonna have a light and everything to go through the scare zones and stuff. Obviously can't film inside the houses, but we're going to come to Halloween Horror Nights. We're staying here at a hotel for the opening weekend, so hope you guys are excited for that content that's going to be coming. But let's go inside and get some updates. As we walk up to the arches here, we see that they still have not put up the signage up on the arches here, or the big medallion that usually hangs from underneath the Universal Studios Florida sign. So hopefully they add that here within the next week or two. I was hoping that they would put it up today. Usually Thursdays they are doing updates and announcing stuff every Thursday, it seems like, for the last couple weeks. So I'm here on a Thursday hoping that they somehow announce something else today that's been a secret or that no one knows about yet. But it came today. Signs still aren't up yet, but we're gonna go get some regular updates about all the props and stuff that are out already. Alright, so as we walk straight into the park here, we have the first scare zone that we're going to have this year, and they've definitely added more than I've seen recently. So right now we have the Halloween Horror Nights 30 Years, 30 Fears sign. They have a nice Halloween Horror Nights sign up at the top there with all sorts of lighting, possibly some flames and candles and stuff up there that's going to be coming up and out. We have a couple stages here. We have one here, 2 pedestals up there on each side. Possibly gonna have some scare actors up there, I'm guessing. But this scare zone, I'm gonna read off the website, says, "The monsters you've dreaded from the past Halloween Horror Nights have taken over the streets. They're back in your history." So as we can see based on this sign over here, we have the different icons from past Halloween Horror Nights. So we have the director, and Fear, Jack of course up there, and big 30 Years, 30 Fears sign, and obviously some signs about Halloween Horror Nights coming up. And then if we walk over to the other side here, we have some more of the icons. So we have Lady Luck, and of course we have Eddie here, the Usher, and Chance, who of course is my favorite icon. So that's going to be the first scare zone, which is nice. It's right when you enter the park. It seems like they're going big with putting the Halloween Horror Nights sign up at the top there, letting people know you're in for a very fun night when you attend this event. So let's keep on moving through the park. Normally we're gonna go, and I'm gonna talk about some of the houses now and locations of houses. So usually right here in this part of the park we have an entrance to one house. Looks like there's gonna be like an entrance to one house here, which there's usually the switchback queues here for, and this one's rumored to be the Bride of Frankenstein Lives, which is confirmed. So all the houses are confirmed at this point. So this is where the Bride of Frankenstein's queue is going to start whenever they start putting the switchbacks and stuff up, getting ready for Halloween Horror Nights. And we're going to move on to the next house location, which there's going to be 3 up here, entrances to near where the Jimmy Fallon queue is. So let's go up here and talk about these houses. So here at the entrance to the Jimmy Fallon queue, looks like it's going to be the entrance to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I'm not going to go into depth about which houses I'm super excited for, because I'm going to do a video after this is up on YouTube in the coming days talking about my anticipation list and what I think are going to be my favorite houses. I'm going to rank them before the event starts, and then after the event we will rank them again and see if I was correct on my anticipation list or not. But there was the entrance to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then it looks like here we're going to have an entrance to 2 more houses, Revenge of the Tooth Fairy and also the HHN Icons Captured. So Revenge of the Tooth Fairy was at last year's HHN Light, which they did, just opening Bride of Frankenstein and Tooth Fairy. I did go through both of those houses and they were very good. I'm hoping that they can improve on what they were from last year a little bit and make them a little better and different than the people who were able to go through them last time. But HHN Icons will also be here, which is going to be a house with all of the HHN Icons from the first Scare Zone that we already walked through. So that's going to be a very exciting house too. Okay, so we are now moving into the New York section of the park, and this is where we have the Seek and Destroy Scare Zone. So we have this nice big stage here with a screen up at the top there. Looks like they're probably going to be projecting some videos up there. And this Scare Zone says, a ruthless alien cyber regime led by the Controller has taken over New York, turning humans into fuel, succumb or be destroyed. So this Scare Zone is going to be like a kind of like, if you think about like the old 1980 or 18 whatever book that was, with talking about like the one person who's in charge. It's like a dystopia where there's one person in charge and they like rule everything, and they have people that go around and make sure you're following order and everything like that. So it's gonna be a very busy Scare Zone. I'm sure a lot of people walking around in the streets here scaring you as you walk through and everything like that. But here we also have the facade for the Halloween Horror Nights tribute store, which this looks fantastic. Every year they're getting more and more creative and detailed when it comes to the entrance to the tribute store for Halloween Horror Nights. And this kind of looks like it's supposed to be resembling the Haunting of Hill House, but I'm not too sure about that. That's the only thing I can think of that would relate to this, unless this is the house from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I haven't watched that movie recently, so I'm not too sure. But looks like it could possibly be related to the Haunting of Hill House, which is interesting. Here we have some more props in the Seek and Destroy Scare Zone. We kind of have these tanks filled with like this Kool-Aid colored liquid, possibly supposed to be resembling blood, I'm assuming. Some lighting fixtures down here and me shining lights on this truck here. And obviously, if anything is covered up during the daytime, that means it's usually gory or a dead body or whatever that's supposed to be for Halloween Horror Nights. So obviously this is something hanging here that's supposed to be covered up because it is not appropriate for daytime guests. And then up here at the top, we actually have 3 of these stands here. There's one here labeled number 1, and then there's 2 more, one there and one down at the end of the street. I'm assuming someone's going to be standing up there, probably making sure everyone is in order, since this Scare Zone is resembling Seek and Destroy, so that'll be very interesting. And directly in front of the mummy here, we also have some more props here. It looks like possibly 2 more bodies or something like that hanging from the front here, and then maybe a screen in the middle here that's covered up. Not too sure what's going to be inside of there yet. And then more of these big tanks with like that resembling blood kind of color. So, and then I'm going to move down the street. Oh, hello. Moving down the street here, we have that other tower that I was talking about, number 2, and then it looks like this might be the end of the Scare Zone here, with number 3 at the entrance to it from this side of the park here. But we have one more prop here, it looks like, which is going to have another 2 tanks here with that liquid, and then like kind of this tank and these containers and stuff. Looks like it might be, and looks like there is a body or something behind here, like it's sucking out the blood from this person or something like that. So I'm very interested to see what this Scare Zone turns into. Usually this is like the best Scare Zone in the park. It's the biggest one for sure, but usually they go in the most detail, to me, in my personal opinion, for this area of the park. So I'm hoping that that stays this way for this Scare Zone, because it sounds like it's going to be one of the best ones. But then again, like I said, I'm going to do a ranking video for Scare Zones and for houses for this event, so stay tuned to that video. That's going to be on the channel. I'll probably be doing that with my brother as well. because him and his girlfriend will be joining me to come to opening weekend. We'll be here both Friday and Saturday, so we'll be ranking everything ahead of time and then obviously afterwards. So, but that's going to be that for this scare zone for Seek and Destroy. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, moving on, we are moving into the San Francisco area, and this scare zone will be Crypt TV. So the Crypt TV says, step inside Crypt TV, a dark universe of monsters that reside in the same reality on your screen, in your pockets, and now in San Francisco. So we have a couple stages here. This one looks like a bathroom scene. It says, if you know yourself cannot release, then it will come to take a piece. So I'm assuming there's probably going to be someone hiding in the shower there that's going to jump out and scare. Moving on into the rest of the scare zone. We have a small little platform here someone's probably going to be standing on. And then there's like a display case with someone playing, what is this? Player of the Year. It's like ground hockey. There might be like a screen in here, a TV screen. This part looks like it's the coolest one, so I think scare actors are going to be able to, yes, hide inside of there. There's a door right there. And when you walk through here, they're going to be able to scare on the inside of this. As you can see, there's little foot pedals here for them to do light stuff like that. There's a door on the back of this as well, so someone can maybe do something with this part, this door here. We also have a stage here with a spider, and there is a stage here with another one of those foot pedals to do a light and sound clip, and two of course bodies hanging there, I'm assuming, because they're covered up for daytime guests. There's lights up there and speakers for sound effects. Smoke fog machine inside there. We also have another area with like a Christmas cart here. Again, I don't know if this is going to be like a screen inside here or there's going to be people inside of this. That part I don't know. But there's like Christmas displays and stuff on side here. And then the last stage in this scare zone looks like a kitchen of some sort with coffee pots and stuff. Again, I don't know much about Crypt TV. I know it is a YouTube series, but I'm not familiar with it, so I'm going to go and do my research and start watching it before the event starts, to be familiar with what a lot of stuff in the scare zone is going to be. But I definitely am looking forward to that scare zone as well, since it's something I'm not too familiar with. Near the back of the park here, the next thing we have is one of our 2 shows for this year, and it's going to be at the Old Fear Factor stage, and it's called Halloween Nightmare Fuel. A new show is igniting Halloween Horror Nights featuring fire, pyro, and aerial performers. So going to be a very interesting show. First time they're doing this kind of show here, so it'll be interesting to see how they handle that. But excited to see what that show is all about for this year's event. And then I haven't been showing them very much because there's some of them that aren't very detailed yet, but this is one of the food carts that's obviously going to be here, food stands. And then here is the big sign that's going to have probably the show times for that Halloween show. And obviously a big sign displaying the show for when it starts. But now we're going to move on to a lot more houses in the back corner here of the park. So back next to Men in Black, way back in the back there, I can't get any closer right now, but it's going to be a house called Welcome to Scary, Horror in the Heartland. In Cary, bad things just happen. No one escapes from this small town beset an endless parade of bloodthirsty creatures and maniacs. So this is going to be an original house, and the facade back there has like a family on it, and it seems very interesting. I'm looking forward to this house, as originals are usually very good from Universal Creative, and I can't get a better shot of it unless I probably go into the Men in Black queue, but I don't know if they'll let me over there, so I'm just going to stick with that until opening day, and then you guys will be able to see the actual facade when I record it with my GoPro here when we actually go through the house. But let's move back here to two houses that are going to be back here in the corner next to the Men in Black gift shop. But over here we usually have two entrances to two houses, and it's confirmed to be Wicked Growth Realm of the Pumpkin, which is going to be probably the one on the left entrance there. It's going to go back towards the left. And then the one that's going to enter right here on the right side is going to be Puppet Theater Captive Audience. So looking forward to those two houses, and obviously can't get a shot of either of those because they put all these nice trees in front to block the view, but definitely looking forward to those two houses. In the Springfield area of the park, it's never a listed scare zone, but in the past years there's always been a roaming horde or a group of clowns with chainsaws that would go up and down, basically from the entrance right back here pretty much all the way to the end of Springfield. It's always one of the most fun scare zones. They're very interactive clowns, and they definitely get a good scare out of a lot of people, so it's fun just to people watch inside of here during Halloween Horror Nights, because they definitely, if you just sit down on one of these benches up here and watch them go back and forth and get people, it's definitely a fun time. Okay, moving through the rest of the park, we are now past Springfield, and we see this nice tent here for Beetlejuice that's going to have food, I'm guessing food and drinks probably. Very detailed, and you can honestly tell that since they didn't do HHN last year, that they're definitely going all out with displaying nice facades for even just the drink locations, which could easily just be a tent, but Universal's kind of going all out for it, which is very nice to see. So back here by ET, we usually have two entrances to houses back here. One through the ET queue back here, and then the other one near the old Barney location back there is where you'll enter. So both of those houses being The Haunting of Hill House and Beetlejuice, two intellectual property houses which are very big names to come to the event this year. So in past years, I have to say that this area of the park is usually not the busiest. Most people rush to the front of the park where most of the IP houses are, the big names, and like Stranger Things in the past, or houses like that, and they will sit back there and do those houses in the front and then rotate to the back. So my previous park run would be start at the back and move your way to the front, but now that they're adding more intellectual properties towards the back of the park to try to even it out, I honestly don't know where the best spot to start is now for this year. I'm gonna have to come up with a game plan and discuss that with my brother and his girlfriend before we come to see where we want to head to first. But it's definitely going to even out the park, I think, a little bit, and not make the front so heavy on wait times. It'll probably even and distribute it out a little better. But like I said, this will be an entrance to The Haunting of Hill House or Beetlejuice, whichever one is here, and the other one is going to be through the ETQ, which we passed back there. So stay tuned for both of those houses, because they're going to be one of the best, I'm sure, for this event. Moving back here away from those last two scare zones that we were at, or houses that we were at, and where the Beetlejuice tent was, we're now moving into another scare zone called Gorewood Forest. 16 years after the gory sacrifices of Terra Quintus, the heartless Terra Queen is back. Evil is in her nature, and this is usually one of the most detailed scare zones when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights, and you can see it already. They have a lot of this netting up on the fences here, some speakers, I believe, in the grass here, with some lighting as well. And then these are really cool. So it's like a little small hut that people are going to be jumping in and out of. Again, another one of those foot pedals for the lights and sound effects. It's going to be very fun to watch them jump out of there and scare us. A lot of the signage for the Terra Queen in general. We have another one of these big fixtures. This one is in a little more detail. Again, another one of those foot pedals in there. A lot of people don't know that all those inside the houses are all triggered with them pressing a button or hitting a button on the wall. Oh, this is a big one here. It might be like someone on stilts possibly inside of this one. Very interesting. they're definitely going all out for this scare zone. It seems like they might add something here. I don't know, it's a little empty in this part. But again, another one of these little small hideouts here. More flags. And then this is like the entrance side to the scare zone. And this is going to be very interesting. So from this side, you can see this is a very nice facade. Honestly, very impressive for just a scare zone. Seems like their Terror Queen is probably going to be up here on this pedestal. And there's like yarn lifting possibly a person up from there, or something like that. It's going to be very cool to enter this scare zone for sure. And as we move out of that scare zone, we're going to move to where they actually have the sign up already for Marathon of Mayhem Carnage Factory. And this is going to be a laser light show on the water featuring Jack, and probably similar to the Marathon of Mayhem that they had 2 years ago with Stranger Things, Ghostbusters, and stuff like that. You can see they have stuff out in the water over there for the show already. Probably going to be projecting on the buildings like they were for the last one as well. But definitely the Lagoon show is always fantastic to watch, and I can't wait to watch it this year since Jack is back at this year's event. And moving into the last scare zone, we have Lights, Camera, Action, Eddie's Revenge. So this scare zone is going to feature Eddie, who is one of the Universal Orlando icons, which is actually Jack's brother, for those who didn't know. Here's one of the stages here. It looks like they were actually doing work on this maybe last night, overnight, and didn't finish. They literally left the wood and everything out here. So that one just says HHN on it. Not sure what that one's going to be, but I think it's supposed to be similar to like an 80s themed type of scare zone. So right here we have Vamp 55 stage here, something covered up under there, maybe someone dead inside of a carriage of some sort or something like that. Again, this scare zone is still a little empty. Obviously there's a projector up on that stand there, so it's going to be projecting something onto the building most likely. And then we have two more stages. This one says Treeks and Foons, which is got a lot of candy and stuff like that, so not too sure what this one is going to be about. And then the last one is Invasion, which actually Invasion was a scare zone that they did in the San Francisco area about 3 years ago. With a big alien ship and everything like that, which was very interesting. So I'm excited to see if they're just going to combine like a bunch of old scare zones into one, or what their plans are exactly for the scare zone. And then we have two flags indicating the entrance to the scare zone here, and the front of the park is up there and to the left. So if you come in the park, this might be one of the first scare zones you go. If you're heading towards the back of the park, you would walk right down the middle of the street here in Hollywood. So now we're going to make one last stop into the Universal Studios store here. This is the Five and Dime, and they have some preview merchandise for Halloween Horror Nights. And obviously what you can do with this, you can purchase a portrait to go into the tribute store that we showed earlier, and with that portrait, I think it's like $250, they put a like an 8x10 or something like that of you up in the tribute store that other people will see throughout the whole event. And then when the event is over, they will actually ship it to your house, and you'll have a piece of an HHN tribute store in your own home. Obviously I don't want to spend the $250 to do it, but they make you a very cool portrait of you like back in the day, old style picture, which is very cool. So if that's something you're interested in, come here and pay for it. They take your picture and then you will see it in the tribute store. But here we have some merchandise for the most recently announced house, which was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Very cool shirt that says Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the sleeve, and they are $30. We have some glasses here, which I'm going to end up buying during the event, but this is very cool. And these are $12 each. They have some socks here, which are $20, and some blood-soaked popcorn, which is just some popcorn that's with red stuff all over it. Some Universal Monsters merchandise over here. More Universal Monsters blanket, magnet. Here's the Bride of Frankenstein shirt. I think it's also $30. Oh, this one's $35. So interesting. Obviously we have some figures up in here. The Bride, Frankenstein himself, the Mummy, Vampire, or Dracula. We have this cool shirt, which I'm thinking about getting. I don't want to get it yet, but this one is $35 as well. Ringer tee, and nothing on the back. We have this set, 4 pins, 4 pack buttons for $11. And again, more of these cups, the shirts. Here we have a Beetlejuice shirt, and this one is $30. And it says it's blacklight reactive, so I think the front will glow up in the dark with the black light. And then here, the Haunting of Hill House shirt, which I'm going to end up getting this one. I just don't want to get it yet. This shirt is also $30. So pretty much the shirts are between $30 and $35 each. So that's pretty interesting. They have a lot of merchandise out here. Stop in this store if you want to get something before the opening night of the event. And the last house that we have to look at for this year's Halloween Horror Nights HHN 30 is Cases Filed Unearthed, Legendary Truth. So this is going to be based again around like the Cary, Ohio, I believe, Legendary Truth. I'm not too sure. I haven't heard much about it, but it says, follow the trail of a private eye as an investigation into the supernatural leads you into a dark world of ghouls and terrifying creatures. So usually, and this was the last house to be announced, like basically confirmed, and the rumor, like, and pretty much any house that takes place in this Shrek building is usually not the best house of the event, and honestly it feels like it was kind of like a last minute put together thing. So I really hope that they can do well with this house, and I don't want to put it low on my list just because I don't know what to expect yet. But we'll see what happens during this Halloween Horror Nights and see if this house really overperforms what my expectation is. But we'll see when the event actually starts and we go through it for the first time. Well, folks, that is going to do it from our day here at Universal Studios Florida, and your ultimate guide to HHN 30 and HHN 2021. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. A lot to look forward to for this event, between the food that we didn't even talk about, of course, pizza fries, my favorite thing at HHN. You got Twisted Taters, you got all this new food that they're going to bring to the event, not to mention all of the houses, the 10 houses, rumored possibly 11 houses. They might bring another one. On the site, there were 11 boxes for the houses, and they have recently taken it down. It might have just been a glitch, but they might be surprising us and throwing a surprise house in there for the 11th house. We'll see, and if they do, I'll definitely bring it to you on the channel. But at least for now, 10 confirmed houses, 5 scare zones. This event is going to be awesome. I'm just glad HHN is back. So stay tuned. I'm going to do a ranking list for scare zones, houses, and I also am probably going to do a video breaking down the different passes you can get for the event, whether you want to buy a single night pass or you want to buy any of the frequent fear passes. And I'm going to go through the dates, the price, and stuff like that and break it down for you. So if you guys are interested in that, please hit a like button on the video and comment below if you want to see that video, and I'll definitely put something together for you guys like that. So again, thank you guys. We'll see you guys for opening night of Halloween Horror Nights. Let's go. Scare on.